My block, my city, my hood. I'm doing everything I can, everything I should. Lifting up the people like I promised I would. Cause this is my block, my city, my hood. The real J. Cole got your back in the hood. I walk the streets where the stories breathe, where every crack sounds.
Okay, what's up, y'all? Jahmal Cole, Kitchen Table Discussions, episode 4. We are in Chinatown and we have a very special guest. Her name is Grace Chan McKibben, and she is the executive director of the Coalition for a Better Chinese American Communities. I get it right? I got
everything right.
I got it right.
Yay.
Welcome. How you doing today?
Very good.
Oh, yeah?
It's cold, but it's warm in here.
It is. Okay, so Grace, thank you so much for meeting with me. I think I was just walking down Cermak the other day and I bumped into you in the morning. I was like, oh, that's Grace, what's up? This is so cool to actually be living in communities and building relationships. A lot of times you can just do asset mapping and you're like, okay, here's this organization. But when I live here for 30 days, I feel like I can build real relationships. So how long have you been in Chinatown? What's this community mean to you?
Sure. I actually don't live in Chinatown, but I've worked in Chinatown for quite some time.
Okay.
I've been executive director of CBCC, Coalition for a Better Chinese American Community. This is starting my 7th year.
Okay.
But I previously also worked for some other organizations. I've been in and out of working in Chinatown for a number of years.
Okay. What is the mission of the Coalition for a Better Chinese American Communities?
Yeah, we really try to build a civic voice within the Asian American and Chinese American community through 3 program pillars. We have civic engagement and policy advocacy.
Okay.
Then we have community planning and development, and we have civic leadership development. So
awesome. A second ago, I was telling you that the heat went off in the house the other night. And so the Airbnb hosts have been great. And they've been over here at least 2 or 3 times. Mm-hmm. We figured out it was the electricity not connecting to the nest in the wall. And so we had to buy a charger. So now it's working. Right. But for the last 2 days, I've been staying at the Jazlyn Hotel. And you were telling me that the Jazlyn Hotel was a hospital.
The Jazlyn Hotel used to be a hospital.
Really?
So it was a hospital for many decades. And when the hospital closed down, I forgot exactly what the name of the hospital is. But that's a community hospital that serves this immediate community.
Okay.
And then when they closed down, the hotel folks bought it and got it and renovated it into a hotel.
Okay, cool. So one of my, even though this is Kitchen Table Discussions, one of my goals with this Live 77 was to not make every episode or not make every neighborhood just about food.
Sure.
So I've been intentionally not posting about food in Chinatown because that's all. But I realize now everybody's like, where are you eating in Chinatown? I was like, yo, I want to make it more about the community. But you were telling me that there's like over 40 restaurants in Chinatown?
At least I didn't do a very detailed count. There are so many restaurants and many, many good restaurants.
Yeah.
And Chinatown is just like every ethnic neighborhood grew out of necessity, as you know, right? I like to tell folks that Chinatown wasn't built so that there would be restaurants to serve other communities or their own community.
Yeah.
It's really, people couldn't live anywhere else and they have to stay within a certain neighborhood. And then they ended up having restaurants and businesses that cater to that community. And that's how you have all these Chinese food.
Gotcha.
And then over time, we have more folks within different parts of China coming. So you have Cantonese food, you have Northern style, you have Sichuan, Hunan, and all the different cuisines, and that's how it came about.
Wow, what's your favorite one?
I am Cantonese, so I grew up in Hong Kong, and so Southern Chinese is my favorite.
Okay, cool.
Usually not too much spice, but a lot of different variety.
Okay, cool. This community, so it feels like there's a push from maybe it is us Chicagoans that are just love Chinese food want to come in, and then there's this the people that live here and say, hey, it's more of it has to be an immigrant serving community. We want our teenagers to learn ESL languages and have after school programming, and I want to focus on the issues that we're facing in Chicago. How are you guys dealing with that?
I think there's always a push-pull, right? Yeah. I think we're grateful that now people want, outside people want to visit Chinatown and enjoy the food and so on. And I know Chinatown Chamber of Commerce has been pushing that quite a bit, the tourism or the visitors from either other parts of Chicago or other cities or even other countries. Mm-hmm. But I think that fundamentally we'd like it to be a neighborhood that thrives, right, with families that are able to stay here and have the kids grow up. So it's always both, right?
Got you. Tell me about the new Chinatown and the old Chinatown. You guys are telling me about it. So the new Chinatown, I take it, is the Chinatown Square where they got all those statues.
Yes.
I told you I found out I was a pig. I don't
Yes.
know, 1983. But also then the old Chinatown is Wentworth, down Wentworth. Okay, and I did some karaoke. I don't know if that's the super new Chinatown or super old, but it was KTD. You know what I'm talking about?
KTV, right on the corner of Chinatown Square, right?
Yeah. And I jogged past that park you were telling me, Pingtown Park. Oh my Lord. What a beautiful view. I wish I could get on one of them canoes and go down it. It was amazing.
Yeah. It's a beautiful park. It's right up against the river.
Okay.
And, the community, as I was telling you the other day, really struggled for 50, 60 years to get that park.
Wow.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
The original park was right where the highway is on Cermak. And that was taken out, Harrison Park. And it was it was a large park with a field house that served multicultural communities. And in the 50s, when the city was building highways, they took that out.
Wow.
I think, so you visited some of the best places. Pingtown Park is part of New Chinatown.
Okay.
So the original Chinatown was just Cermak and Wentworth, pretty small. And some of the older businesses you can see are on Wentworth. On Cermak, you see some of the oldest buildings. And in the 1980s, a group of business people decided that they wanted to add more housing and more businesses to Chinatown. And they bought this piece of vacant land that was owned by the railroads. So it was literally a swamp because it was old railroad land.
Okay.
So everything that you see on Chinatown Square, in the townhouses behind where Chinese American Service League is, all the way to Pingtown Park was just a big piece of vacant land.
Wow. And when did it start getting redeveloped?
In the late 80s, the business people bought it, developed it over most of the 90s, opened it in the late 90s. When it was first opened, people were like, it's too far away. It's across the street. But, psychologically, it was really far away.
I got you.
And then the stores and so on started filling up Chinatown Square in the 2000s, and now is a more popular place than the other Chinatown, right?
I got you. It's a Chinatown. I've been in Chinatown in San Francisco. I think there was one in New York City. What separates the Chinatown in Chicago, or what makes Chinatown, the Chinatown in Chicago, different or distinct from the other Chinatowns?
Yeah, this is actually one of the newer Chinatowns.
Okay.
San Francisco, New York were all built much older.
Got you.
Chinese Americans started coming to the U.S. in roughly 1860s or so to work on the railroads, to work on gold mines first in San Francisco. Okay. And then later to work on the Transcontinental Railroad.
Got you.
And then as people, they built the railroad eastward, and as work and like their portion of the railroad is done, people get laid off and they have to live wherever they are laid off. So these other Chinatowns started popping up in various different places. Chicago's Chinatown was originally downtown.
That's what I heard, like next to the financial district?
Yep, in the financial district.
Yeah, how did it move from downtown to out in Cermak?
So that Chinatown started roughly maybe 1870s. Okay. And then by the early 1900s, there was a lot of pressure for people to move. Landlords don't want to renew their leases. Some of it is discrimination, some of it is just pricing. Okay. So the Chinese Americans, mostly led by the Moyes family, there are three Moyes brothers that are credited to be the founders of Chicago's Chinatown. Okay. And they went around looking for space, and right here in Armour Square, which was primarily Italian at that time, they were able to talk to the Italians, found a spot very similar to New York's Chinatown. Manhattan's Chinatown was right next to Little Italy. Okay. I think either you or someone was telling me that this was Italian spot. It's an Italian community. So you were saying that some church still has like a cross by Al Capone's mom that donated. Right across the street from you.
For real? Oh,
like where you're staying right now.
No wonder I've been hearing all these gunshots and I'm just trying to hear no gunshots. That's probably not funny. But anyways, I'm watching Boardwalk Empire, so I'm like really like into like the actor that's playing Al Capone. But so his mom wanted to atone for his sins, and she decided to buy a crucifix or a cross for a church. Yes. Is it really big? Is it a big one? It's big. I mean, it's a crucifix. So if you're familiar with Catholic Catholicism, is the Christ figure is right on the cross and is very prominent inside the church. Yeah, man. I don't even know. I'm not gonna say that. I don't want nothing to happen. But that's amazing. That's amazing. Shout out to the Capones, or shout out to the let's just delete that part, man. I don't even know what to say. I don't want to say nothing because I know people coming.
Yeah,
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say to them.
Go gangsters.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. So they was gonna buy this. It must have been a big ass cross.
There you go.
That's crazy, man. But all right. Okay. All the businesses in Chinatown, all the places to eat. I'm hearing that this is something deep that I heard, right? And David from the Poi Thai Center told me, and he was like, you know, as a black man being in Chinatown, he said that black people make up 10 to 20% of the revenue coming into these. That's wild, but he says there's no black. He said, Jahmal, there's no black businesses in Chinatown, but black people come to the community and they spend 10 to 20% of the revenue. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I think it's true. I mean, especially on the weekends, you see everybody, right? Latinos and Black people, white people frequenting other businesses.
Gotcha.
I think it's one of those things, right? That, you know, communities of color tend to, you know, work together.
Yeah.
That because the Chinese people were aware that they weren't able to live other places, they're pretty happy to serve other people that are of color.
Got you. And so when people think about Chinatown, what are the strengths that don't get talked about enough?
Yeah. I think earlier you asked, you know, what's the difference between Chicago's Chinatown and some of the other Chinatown? Mm-hmm. A lot of times in the news, you hear about people talking about Chicago's Chinatown as being the only growing Chinatown.
Okay.
And I think that means that the population continues to grow, and then also we continue to kind of spread out into Bridgeport, McKinney Park, and so on, and South Loop too. And I think is the organizations that really is the strength, right?
Okay.
There are the social service agencies, and then there are the traditional organizations that are the based on family names. Family associations are either based on people's last names or based on what village they claim to be from.
Okay.
And these are mutual aid organizations that started way back when Chinese people were not able to get government assistance, were not able to easily go get loans from banks. They would pull together money. So I think that there's a lot of the strength come from, you know, helping each other out.
Gotcha.
And then building these organizations.
Gotcha.
And I think that.
So you mean to tell me y'all don't be fighting over grants? Like, oh, let me get this. You stepping on my toes.
Believe me, there's also that, right?
Okay.
Just like any, you know, it's a nice close-knit family, but just like any family, there's also you know, other family dynamics too.
I feel you on that one. But it seems to be a good fabric that exists between the organizations here. Thank you for throwing me all the assists and alley-oops to meet with different places. I think I met with a after-school program the other day. I think they were called. It was on a
Project Vision.
Project Vision, yeah, that was amazing. They were teaching ESL to a lot of or it was really tutoring, after-school tutoring for a lot of youth. Can you are there any other organizations people can get plugged into in Chinatown that you would recommend them looking up?
Yeah, definitely Poi Thai Center, which does amazing ESL classes.
Got you.
Gold. They get a gold star for
that
ESL
place is
classes.
amazing. That place is amazing. It looked like. I heard some things about that place. I heard back in the day there used to be gambling in there. I heard that it used to be like there was a big bust. Somebody should do a movie about that place. Like, because when I read it was like some informant came in, and next thing you know, they found $400,000 and then they got bought by a church after that. And now it's a community center.
Yep.
I would have never known it was like that much like history inside of there.
There's a lot of history, right?
Yeah. David, he'll tell you everything when you're in there. David, he's pretty cool. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Well, you probably introduced me to him. What I'm talking about?
Yeah. David used to be our board chair, and he's still on our board. Yeah.
Yeah. He was telling me that he didn't. He was voting against the casino coming to Chinatown. He didn't want it to be. Right. How did you feel about that?
Yeah, we all are pretty much on the same page, most of the social service agencies, because there's a painful history in Chinese American history. It's because for a while after the laborers came, there was the Chinese Exclusion Act that prevented other Chinese people from coming, and specifically prevented families from coming into the U.S. Wow. So these laborers end up, you know, living in Chinatown, mostly all these single men that are working all day and they didn't really have that many places to go in the evenings because of discrimination. They can't easily go to other neighborhoods.
Gotcha.
So folks ended up gathering together to gamble.
Gotcha.
So gambling ended up being a pretty primary characteristic of Chinatowns for decades.
Got you.
And so whenever casinos come in, it's almost like the casino companies also know
Wow.
that this is such a core part of the culture that they
Yeah.
want to make money
Got
off
you.
of the people.
It's like the
And
currency exchange.
Exactly.
That's
And I
bogus.
always say that, the people that can least afford to lose are
Yeah.
the people that lose the most to the casinos.
Oh, you said that people that can afford to lose the...
That can least afford to lose, right?
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah,
people that
gotcha.
don't
Yeah,
have
yeah.
any money, the
Yeah,
older
yeah, yeah.
people,
It's predatory.
right?
Yeah, it
very
is.
predatory.
I'm calling currency exchanges the fentanyl of finance. That's how I'm looking at it, because I've researched that of the 450 plus currency exchanges in the state of Illinois, they're predominantly in Black and brown
Exactly.
communities. There's some communities, there's 15 currency exchanges and no
Right.
banks. You ask a kid, what's your job at a bank? They're like, I've never been to a bank before. And also the currency exchange, if you spend, the crazy part about it is that I told this joke so many times, it's not going to be funny, but it's have you been to a currency exchange before?
I have, yeah.
You ain't been. I'm just,
Yeah,
okay,
no,
look,
I have.
all right, no, okay, check it out. So I go to the currency exchange and it's interesting to me that they have bulletproof glass windows.
They do.
When they rob me, I feel like you charging me 3% on my $100, I'm getting robbed. That's crazy.
Right.
And then like people are spending like their, I get it. Like if I'm a single mom or something and I get paid at midnight and then a bill hits my bank at midnight and the bank takes out the bill first, that's a deal breaker for me. I can't deal with a traditional bank anymore. I'm going right to the currency exchange. Right. But for the majority of people, we're paying so much in fees. We're paying so much in that 3% is like, that's a enormous amount. And also I heard until recently, they could charge for loans, they could charge up to 300% on people, just for an interest rate. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's wild.
It's because people don't, right? They need quick access to cash. And, just like what you said. So
that's how the casino. So you guys voted against it, this big casino coming in.
We're really pushing back against the casino.
Okay.
There's 3-4 years ago when they were proposing the casinos near downtown, there was one that was supposed to be in the South Loop. And then the 3 finalists were in the South Loop and at McCormick Place, and also in where Bally's ended up getting the bid that was supposed to be in the old Tribune building.
Okay.
Now they have this temporary spot that's downtown,
and
they're busing people.
That's what I heard.
Every 30 minutes. If you
come on,
if you wait right across from the library, you can catch a casino bus every 30 minutes.
Oh man,
to go. Yeah.
I'm gonna go check that out before I go and throw an egg at the bus or something like that. I'm gonna do something, but anyways, all right. I'm gonna ask you some more thoughtful questions. And feel free to ask me anything.
Yeah, no, I think it's, just like you said, it's predatory because the people that make businesses that make money are making money off the backs of the people, right? Yeah. No casino ever lose money. You always, people go in thinking that they might win something. They may initially win something.
Yeah.
They'll eventually lose because that's why, that's what the casinos are in business for.
And they're not giving no money back to the community groups here. Probably they're just taking all the money and leaving. So that's bogus. Okay, about this next section is about youth, elders, in the future. What are young people in Chinatown asking for right now? So, what are younger people asking for? Yeah,
I think that there's always not enough things for young people to do. Like we have the parks, we have the field house.
Yeah.
But there aren't any youth hangout places. And this is not just Chinatown, right? Gotcha. Every neighborhood.
Yeah.
Where do kids go after school?
Gotcha.
When I was growing up, there might be the video arcades and things like that. And
gotcha.
No more, right? So
I don't see any gyms either. Is there a big gym?
There is a field house which does have a gym inside on 18th, right across from.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay, cool.
Park.
And I don't see any bars. I've never really seen a lot of bars.
Couple.
Okay, I've seen one on Wentworth, but I haven't. I'm doing dry January like everybody else, so I haven't been.
Yeah, there are a couple bars, but there aren't enough places. One of the prominent third spaces in traditional Chinatowns are these Chinese style cafe, where people they're little mom and pop shops. They might sell, coffee, tea, and a few snack type things, or maybe noodles.
Gotcha.
And not a big menu.
Yeah.
And those are pretty much gone. There might be one or two that's left in Chinatown, but those are the places that not young people, but older people, like the uncles and the aunties, uncles particularly, hang around, go meet other people, read their morning newspaper, talk about the news, and all that. And those are pretty much all gone.
Oh, wow. I think I spent $65 on tea the other day. Like
God.
at Cermak, there was this. I was just trying to get some a piece of ginger, and I went and bought like, all kinds of roots and turmeric and sleek tea. I walked out with $66 worth of tea, but I went straight to sleep. I had a little cup of it. I went to sleep, but it's good though. What else have I been spending my money on while I've been here? Have you tried this chili chicken thing here? Have you had it
I
before?
haven't. I know about their chili, their chicken, the Kung Pao chicken. It's very, very spicy.
Oh yeah, you said you eat South Cantonese. Where did you say you're
I'm
from?
from southern China.
So you don't eat the spicy food?
So I do eat spicy food, but
yeah.
not as much as some of my colleagues. Yeah.
All right.
I have cousins who grew up in Hunan, which is one of the provinces that have so much chili. They eat chili peppers for afternoon snack.
Wow, yeah,
I can't.
yeah, that'll clean you out.
Yeah.
Do you go back to China a lot?
I grew up in Hong Kong and I've been in the U.S. since high school.
Okay.
And my parents, my father passed away. My mother still lives in Hong Kong, so I go back to visit her every now and then.
Oh yeah,
is it expensive? October.
Oh yeah, October. Is it expensive to fly back and forth? Can you get some?
Yeah, pretty expensive. So I don't go that often.
Dang.
We have 4 children. They're all adults now, but when they're little, you never have enough money.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. It'd be cool to like bring students. We have an after school program called our Explorers program. So we're always taking. I think our students in March are going to go to France.
Nice.
And they're going to go to Paris, and they're going to do a cultural exchange out there. I would love to. I want to see my block, my hood, my city, and in different cities and expanding to different cities. So this is you guys helped us with this. What does this say? It says
block, my neighborhood, my community, and my city.
My neighborhood, my community, my city, right? And you said you're gonna help me out with the fonts. You're gonna get the fonts right. Help me out with that.
The fonts are nice, but yeah.
No, you said it was ugly earlier. It was like you said it was whack. So I need to make sure our font game is on point. But anyway, we do these, and right now every community I go to,
we'll get you some fancy fonts.
You get some fancy fonts, okay? I think ours is like headliner. I ain't gonna tell y'all what it is. I know people be trying to copy all that stuff, but it's all good. I think Asher just text messaged me a cool question to ask you. Asher's in the back there. She's our volunteer coordinator. She said, Jahmal, you should ask her about larger brand stores pushing out mom and pop stores. So what's going on with these?
I mean, there are more and more franchises, and you may not recognize them as franchises because they're Asian brands.
That Paris bun, whatever it's called.
Like Paris Baguette, which takes over 3 storefronts on Wentworth.
Yeah.
They are a Korean brand. I mean, I don't have anything against Paris Baguette, but have you gone in to get a slice of cake?
No, I've been scared too.
$12, right?
Yeah. Wow.
Right.
Gotcha.
It's not. It doesn't quite match with what people are making,
Gotcha.
and of course, if somebody can afford a $10 cup of coffee and a $12 piece of cake, that's fine. But I think that a lot of times these larger brands that are franchises push out some of the mom and pops. They are not able to compete in terms of marketing, in terms of branding, and so it's hard for them to stay open.
Cool. Another question I wanted to ask: you had this activist or organizer that worked with you. She was telling me about. How are y'all feeling as an organization about the new the 78 community or whatever, the big billionaire that's spending all this money for the Chicago fire?
It's a big worry for us because, of course, nobody wants to see a large piece of property stay vacant for decades.
Yeah.
I mean, we want to see some development in there, but we really would like the developers to talk to the communities around and build something that's for everyone.
Yeah.
I feel like the way that it's going is that most of the apartments and the stores and so on will cater towards higher income people, and that will further push people out.
Yeah. Okay. So you're cool with the development, but you just want it to be done in the right way, basically.
Yeah, I think done in the right way, and in terms of the development itself, I think all the mega developments, there are all these questions like whether it's Logan Square, whether it's the Quantum site in South Shore, or whether it's the Obama Center.
Yeah.
I think there's always this worry. And then for us, it's not just Chinatown. It's Chinatown just immediately south of it, and then there's Pilsen to the west of it.
Gotcha.
There's also Bronzeville. So it's all communities of color that can least afford to be displaced.
Okay. All right. I got some more questions, and I'm going to start going off the top of my head. We got about
no worries.
15, 20 minutes.
What's your favorite food? What did you end up? Yeah. What
Okay,
did you
so
like getting?
so I, for the last like 20 years, have lived on 80th and Wabash. I live somewhere different now, but I'm not going to say because I feel like, people are going to be at my house, which like they always are. I'm just joking. It's not that bad. But look, I lived in Chatham for 20 years, right? And so I have Cam's Chop Suey on 83rd and right next to my barbershop, and they make orange chicken, and they orange chicken is flame. And I always get like triple shrimp fried rice, so it was way smaller than that. That shrimp was way bigger. That's the real shrimp. On Cam's, I don't know what they're doing, but it's still flame though. It's still good. So that's what I'm used to. And the Mongolian beef, I've actually expanded into that.
Yeah.
Some people eat the General Tso chicken. I hope I'm saying it right, but down south they say it way different. So those are the only foods I've had. Now that I've been in China, of course, egg rolls, obviously. But so my favorite is Mongolian beef. But this right here, what is this again?
Kung Pao chicken or Kung chicken. Yeah.
Those peppers are like, I like Louisiana hot sauce. This is like Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Texas times 30. The heat's crazy. The heat's crazy. So that's hot. But anyway, my favorite food so far is this Mongolian beef and that shrimp fried rice. It probably don't make sense, do it? But yeah. Do you make something like that, like shrimp fried rice and Mongolian?
Oh yeah, it's traditional Chinese meals always include multiple dishes.
Okay.
Usually multiple dishes and a soup and some rice. So yeah, people always,
Yeah, I'm gaining weight. I feel like this community, Chinatown and Humboldt Park, it's just so much to eat. So, but hopefully I can learn how to make some Chinese food. I saw y'all had a grocery store. It's like a whole section of this. You know what I'm talking about? It's a, Ash, what's that grocery store called?
The largest grocery store is 88 Market, which is just, on Jefferson.
Yeah.
21st and Jefferson. It's technically slightly outside of Chinatown. It's in East Pilsen.
Okay.
But it's humongous.
Wow.
Right? There are like 50 million kinds of noodles and
Man, I got some toothpaste with, I don't even know what it said on it. I got of course I got big pieces of ginger. You can get, it's a whole fish market back there. It's amazing. I never even knew that existed. It's like a couple blocks from it. It's crazy. Yeah. That's amazing. So I'm trying to cook something. You gotta what's a traditional meal that you would cook? Like, do you cook a lot at all? Or?
Yeah, I do a lot of traditional stir fries, and stir fries in Cantonese is very easy. Just slice up some vegetables and slice up some meat and season the meat and fry it out together. So yeah, it's good. Good stuff.
All right, Grace. Okay. So boom, 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 boom. All right. How does safety and trust show up here, especially for elders and small business owners? Is it like because I never see Chinatown in the news about nothing. I never, like, you see some in Chatham, you see all over the news. You see, it's like if it bleeds, it leads everywhere. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I really don't see like too many.
There's some property crime. I think carjacking was really bad during the pandemic.
Okay.
Burglaries also.
Wow.
There's quite a lot of purse snatching, mostly because there are so many older people and they're, they make pretty easy prey. They walk slowly and they're not always able to pay attention. So it's sad. Yeah. Every now and then we've had several fairly prominent gun murders, like shootings, the past few years, and every time the community is always very concerned. I think it's just a matter of what people are used to, right? You never ever see gun related violence in China or Taiwan or Hong Kong because the access to guns is just not the same. I think, that's a large part of it. Gotcha. So while it is generally fairly safe, I think every time that anything happens, people are always very concerned. And then the property crime is a concern.
Got you. Is there like some certain like a neighborhood newspaper that you guys read? Is there like what is it called?
Yeah, we don't have a Chinese newspaper that's a physical paper, except for us. CBCC actually started a monthly newspaper.
Got you.
In order to fill that gap.
Gotcha.
People read online. WeChat, which is a Chinese social media platform, hosts all the different online newspapers. Yeah. So people get their news from those newspapers. We have a fairly strong community watch group. The CAPS beat that covers Chinatown works very closely with the 9th District Police Station. That's the police station that's on 32nd and Halstead and covers Chinatown, Bridgeport.
Yeah. I was talking about State Representative Ma about that. I'm going to go to the meeting, the CAPS meeting, but you were saying that...
saying that, anytime that any gun-related either shooting, especially if somebody passed away, like a gun-related fatality is a big deal. Like people... Because I think it should be, right?
Absolutely.
We
I mean, yeah, we
shouldn't-
should be. No, it's like we keep becoming desensitized to gunshots. Almost like I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I feel like it's like living next to the red line. Like, you know, when you first move in, you hear the red line go by, and you're like, man, you can't even eat. It's bothering you. And then after a month, you're like, it bothers me a little bit. And after 6 months, you can
don't
still
even
go to
hear it.
sleep. It's
Yeah.
the same thing
Yeah,
with gunshots in Chicago. I feel like people have been at 15 funerals by the time they're in like ninth grade, but that stuff is sad, man. I know that the mayor says gun violence is going down in Chicago. Even that, I feel like Trump says inflation really isn't a problem, but when I go in a grocery store, I'm like, God damn, this price is high as hell. So I don't even. When you say gun violence is down for me, I still feel like you can. I guess it's block by block in Chicago. So I also have my. I don't think that using the city's homicide rate is a good reflection of our success or failure at reducing gun violence personally, because the geography of every community is different.
Right.
But I don't want to get into my philosophy, but I do got a question for you. I saw y'all doing something really dope. Y'all were, somebody from your organization was out. You guys have an app or something where the seniors in the community that can't read English, they can go inside the store and they can scan barcodes and it will spit back like, do you know what I'm talking about? This is a program that you guys like created, but I saw it was an Instagram post from your organization.
Oh, yeah, we didn't create it, but we do help, try to help folks with translations with, the apps. Yeah.
I need the app when I'm walking around because there's so many places I want to shop. I just don't even know what a lot of stuff is. So basically, if you go to their Instagram page at the Coalition for a Better Chinese American Communities, you will see that if you can't read the ingredients or if you can't read the labels, you can actually take your phone and scan it and it will spit it back out to you and say, Jahmal, you're too broke to buy this. You can't even buy this. Or you might say, you don't even like the way this Szechuan stuff tastes. Don't eat that. And it's like, it makes it very convenient for not only the elders, but for anybody in the neighborhood. I thought that was so smart.
Thank you.
I thought that was smart. A lot of times as like community organizations, we're always thinking about, taking like super big actions, but sometimes it's really something simple you can do that'll really make a difference in the community. What other stuff do you guys got going on that is innovative and that what are you guys working on?
Yeah, so related to that, we have classes for seniors, mostly seniors, but also some women that want to upskill their skills in computer apps or even very basic things, especially for older people. How do you scan this QR code and fill out this form? We also have one-on-one help for that. There's a lot of folks, if you need to make a doctor's appointment, you might not be able to if you can't use an app. So I think we have a lot of those. We have a program for high school youth, and we teach them leadership skills, how to organize their peers and how to advocate for themselves.
Wow. What keeps you going?
What keeps me going?
Yeah.
Just seeing, community members. I love working with older people. They're so grateful for anything that you can do for them.
That's
and
awesome.
And they're so community minded, then they watch out for each other.
That's cool, Grace.
Enjoyed that.
That's cool. What are your hobbies, Grace? What do you do for fun? You watch movies? Do you do karaoke? Do you go to?
I do karaoke, but I sing and I play the piano. I read a lot. Yeah.
Okay. That's what's up. Tonight I think I'm gonna go see the Phantom of the Opera downtown.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was the Phantom as a kid one time, so I couldn't afford a mask, so I had to go cut open a hockey mask and put it in half and then go on stage. I'm just saying that to embarrass my mom, but no, it was I couldn't sing at all, but I did like to be in the Phantom. That was cool. But what are the activities that people can do in Chinatown besides karaoke? What is there to do here? Like,
yeah, I think karaoke is a good one.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of people enjoy being in the park, just walking around in the park and doing that.
Okay.
There are, I wish that there are more activities.
I ain't seen no basketball course, Grace. What's up? I don't see no basketball course in this mug.
No.
I feel like
you have to go down to Bridgeport. I think McWayne Park.
Yeah. I'm going to Bridgeport next month.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit, I don't know. I'm going to Bridgeport for Black History Month, so it's going to be, the history of Bridgeport. I just hope that, I'm just joking. It's sometimes like racism used to be more covert or used to be more overt. Now it's Now it's covert. But don't mean it's not going though. Like it's still, oppression is real and it's structured in the city. So I think that for somebody that's new to Chinatown, what's something that people get wrong or just misunderstand or don't understand about the neighborhood?
I think it is. Chinatown is becoming more open to other communities, to other non-Chinese people, as
Okay.
you can see, from the visitors that are here on the weekends. I think a lot of people are worried about going to Chinatown because they think that Chinatown is only for Chinese people. I think that is changing.
Okay.
There is some element to that because of the history, right?
Yeah.
Folks were not allowed to live anywhere else, so they are naturally wary of other people coming into their neighborhood.
Gotcha.
But I think that that is changing.
Okay.
Chinatown, because it's changing, is also facing the same struggles as everybody else. Affordability, rents are going up and prices are going up. So sometimes people come to Chinatown on a Saturday and see every restaurant full. They think that we're doing really well.
Yeah.
And some people are and some
Gotcha.
people aren't, right? So I think that there's that as well.
I love how close it is to downtown, so close to the lake. It's like it's peaceful too. I'm really enjoying my stay here. Is it hard to get a place in Chinatown? Is everything just like all the real estate are taken up really fast?
It gets taken up pretty fast. It's hard to buy anything because things get taken up really fast.
Gotcha.
You're in an Airbnb, which is it was completely unheard of for Chinatown to have Airbnbs even 5-6 years ago.
Really?
I think now folks are taking advantage of the fact that the property values are high, and if they are not living here, they want to be able to rent it out so that they can keep the property and keep it going and
Understood.
Be able to sell at a higher price.
This is a beautiful, shout out to Airbnb. This is a beautiful condo. I really like it a lot. The Airbnb hosts have been very responsive as well. And again, shout out to the sponsors of Airbnb. Please continue to sponsor. Y'all go get Airbnb immediately or whatever. Airbnb. I'm just keep on saying it. But anyways, I've heard that some communities, they I know there's going to be some legislation that's going to be passed pretty soon that says that how is Airbnb approaching the neighborhood? And it's because some people see it as like it's a detriment. I mean, it's not helping the neighborhood move forward, and some people are okay with it. So how do you feel like that's?
I think it's complicated. We are always watching because, as I said, it's a relatively new thing. We have been seeing more and more Airbnbs. I know that the communities that have higher home ownership percentages tend to take better care of the property. McKinley Park is a good example. McKinley Park has historically had been either the neighborhood with the highest percentage of people owning their own homes or one of the highest.
Gotcha.
So they tend not to turn over that much. There are many people you go to talk to in McKinley Park that would say that they're in the same house that their grandparents were in or great grandparents were in.
Gotcha.
So I think that those communities are a little bit different, and other ones have more turnover.
Okay.
And there's always a balance, just like with the franchises.
Okay. I don't see any high schools in the community. Would you like a high school?
There is not a high school in the community.
Okay.
Armour Square and Bridgeport traditionally were Catholic neighborhoods, so people had their kids in grade school that might be public school, but then go to some of the larger area high schools that are Catholic.
All right.
And we have CBCC and the Chinatown community have been advocating for a high school for decades.
Okay.
It's just a really difficult environment right now with CPS schools. A lot of schools in some neighborhoods not being utilized that much is difficult to argue for a new building.
Understood. Okay, I'm gonna do some rapid fire questions, and I'm taking questions from the audience as well because I'm sure they got questions. But you a Bears fan?
Everybody's a Bears fan today,
right,
but
okay, cool. Is there a favorite outside of Chinatown? What's your favorite go-to spot for food?
Outside of Chinatown, I live in Hyde Park.
Okay. So have you been to Virtue?
Virtue is amazing.
It's cool, right? Yeah.
Valois is, is legendary.
I go there for the steak and eggs, for real. Hyde Park is nice. I stayed there. I think I stayed in the, what are the towers by the lake? I forget. Some towers called.
Regent's Park?
Yeah, that's exactly where I stayed at. Yeah, it was cool. Y'all stayed right. It was beautiful living right by the lake.
Yes.
Except people be stealing your catalytic converters too much. I feel like every time I went outside, my catalytic converter was gone. I had to start parking. But anyway, I like jogging by the lake every day. That is amazing.
Yeah, Hyde Park is beautiful.
Okay, cool. I mess with Hyde Park. All right. Any questions in the audience that we can ask? And actually, hair is beautiful. But
Great.
Yes.
If You took Grace the first year working in Chinatown and dropped her into today's Chinatown. What would be the biggest surprise and what would be the biggest disappointment?
Yeah, the first year I worked in Chinatown was in my 20s. So in grad school, I was a summer teacher at Chinese American Service League. And at that time, the Chinatown Square hadn't developed yet, and it was a very small Chinatown with just maybe 2 blocks. So I have to say that I did not like that Chinatown all that much. Felt very small and not many things to do. Like I went to work, taught the kids, went home, but yeah, now it's a lot different with a lot more going on.
Thank you, Grace.
Where do you see Chinatown in the next 5 years?
I always want to see more different types of businesses. I don't know if we can achieve it in the next 5 years. While we like the restaurants and they're successful, it always feels like it skews too much towards restaurant and retail. And we saw that during the pandemic. During the pandemic, Chinatown got hit really hard because every other store is either a restaurant or a retail. So, so I think that if money and planning, technical assistance and so on are all available, it would be good to plan out like how many residents we have, how many restaurants we really need, how many other stores, are there places for people to buy clothes, are there places for people to buy books, are there people, and all that. Yeah.
Interesting. Sorry, what was you gonna say? I was gonna say David told me that he said throughout Chicago there's like a law against there being so many Chinese restaurants within a certain proximity of each other. Have you heard about this?
I didn't know that. Yeah,
he was like, just like you can't have a McDonald's across the street from McDonald's, you can't have a Chinese restaurant within like a certain amount of miles of another Chinese. I
did not know that. Yeah,
I didn't know that either. But all right. Anyway, any questions you guys got?
How big of a concern is like gentrification in Chinatown?
Yeah, big.
Like, are people pushing out generational families that we're doing?
Yeah, I think it's getting more of an issue. I think I was just saying that in the news you always hear about Chicago's Chinatown being the only growing Chinatown, and we're so strong, and we're have such great community assets. But I think even 10 years ago, even 6-7 years ago, you don't see as many franchises, and you don't see the housing prices being so high. Like it used to be completely possible to rent a 2-bedroom apartment way under $600, right, around here just a few years ago, and now it's pretty impossible. And people's wages haven't really gone up that much, so I think it is a big concern.
Good question. I think somebody, Ash.
What's something the average Chicagoan throughout this large city we live in can do to support the Chinese community in Chinatown and throughout the city?
Yeah, I think definitely come visit. I think the spending money in the restaurants and so on is good, but also spend time learning about the history and culture. Several years ago, we did a study basically just surveying people that come in on the water taxi and go out on the water taxi and ask what they plan to do while they're in Chinatown. Most people plan to go to a restaurant, but then we're like, oh, do you know about the cultural and other offerings? Do you know about the Chinese American Museum of Chicago? Do you know about Chinese American Service League and so on? Most people don't know. I think that it would be good if people would also support some of these other organizations like the park, the museum, and so on. And I think that participate in some of these conversations. There is a bit of an assumption that because you see the restaurants being so busy, the Chinatown is doing very well economically, but there's this underlying worry about rents going up and people being pushed out. So I think economic development cannot depend only on one thing, right? It has to be comprehensive, and everybody needs to be taken care of, and all ages and all backgrounds, regardless of people's income, need to be taken care of. Chinatown traditionally, both because of historical discrimination and other factors, Chinatowns used to be where people from different income brackets can live together. They might all be Asian, might all be Chinese, but everybody from teacher to laborers and doctors and so on might be on the same block. Same in Chatham and other neighborhoods like that. And now not so much, right? The wealthy people tend to move to the suburbs to other neighborhoods, so we see the same thing.
Wow. Grace, you sounded like you was running for office right there. You was dropping the bars. I know we got that. That was amazing. Anybody else got any other questions? Y'all got some great questions.
I have a real life question.
Please ask it.
Yeah.
So I have never been. Okay, so I've heard about the underground shops and such.
I was scared to ask that question.
I've never been there. Would you suggest going there? Is it scary? What would you say?
Which underground shops? Oh, you mean in the food court?
Yeah.
So the food court, the stores, the restaurants and so on tend to be a little more affordable because rent is a little more affordable down there, the haircut place and so on. So they tend to start there and then they would move up stairs. So like, for example, Qingxiangyuan QXY, which is a very good but very expensive dumpling place on Archer, they started out as a food court offering too. So yeah, absolutely. You get some hidden gems because people start out there getting a little booth that doesn't cost that much to run. And then once they build the clientele, they can run a storefront elsewhere. Yeah.
There's an underground Chinatown?
Yeah, basically the food court where you were, KTV.
Yeah.
KTV is upstairs. If you go downstairs in the basement, there are these little food courts.
Wow.
And they've gotten really smart because most people are relatively new immigrants and don't speak English, but now they put these big big screens up so that you can order, on the screen. So they don't need to speak to them. The computer just sends them
That's cool.
the order and then they can bill it. Yeah.
Great.
It's a good place. Yeah.
Yeah,
You should definitely try that. If you're adventurous and want to try different types of cuisines and things that are not that may not always be sold in the restaurants. Yeah.
So right underneath KTV?
Underneath the KTV.
I saw where to go.
Yeah, go downstairs.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you go in, go left and then go downstairs.
Understood. I saw that place. Wow. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You can get a really cheap haircut there too.
Oh, really?
Maybe not. Maybe not.
No. Yeah, that's a problem. When I'm on these travels and live 77, when I was in Portage Park, I tried to get a haircut. I knocked on the door. I saw the lady. I was happy to get an answer, but I tried to get one, and when I was on Divine Avenue, they messed my hair up. I'm talking about. I said they did good right away. First it was looking good. I was like, "This is sharp." He's like, "I'll be right back." Man,
my third child. We have 4 children, and a girl, and 3 boys, and our 26-year-old always comes back to Chicago for his hair because somebody does this. Yeah, somebody does twists for him. And, that's
what's up. Cool.
Always,
Grace, you're amazing. I like your soul. Is there any way people can support your organization? Is there any plugs you want to do right now?
Yeah. So our organization, Coalition for a Better Chinese American Community, CBCAC, you can look us up, www.cbcacchicago.org, and donate, volunteer. We do a lot of different things. We do everything from, we actually are part of the rapid response team here, protecting immigrants, but we also do everything from helping seniors get online to helping young people develop leadership skills. So come check us out.
Hey, y'all, that's a wrap, man, for Kitchen Table Discussion, episode 4. We're in Armour Square in Chinatown, and Grace has graced us and blessed us with her presence. And it's just been a pleasure to get to know you, and I look forward to staying connected, okay?
Thank you.
Pleasure. Let's dig into this thing.
This is my block, my city, my hood. My block, my city, my hood. I'm doing everything I can, everything I should. Lifting up the people like I promised I would. 'Cause this is my block, my city, my hood. My block, my city, my hood. I'm doing everything I can, everything I should. Lifting up the people like I promised I would.